Россия без Путина! Россия без Путина! Россия без Путина! Россия без Путина! Россия без Путина!
I want to say that Putin must face tribunal.
Трибунал! 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 Трибунал!
Russia is not Putin, and we do not support this war.
Свободной! Россия будет свободной! Россия будет...
More than 1 million citizens from Russia, they had to escape, and now we're here and we want to say that we are against the war and we are against Putin, and we want our country to be free and we want peace in Ukraine.
No longer bear the poverty. We can no longer bear the exertion. We are here. We are fighting so that we can find the answers.
The protests come despite the government having raised the minimum wage twice since January and pledging more wage hikes in 2023. It's also promised more handouts for pensioners to soften the blow of the current crisis. The latest protest also follows a string of walkouts in Europe in the past month, including in Spain, France, the UK, and Belgium. Energy prices have driven inflation in the 19 countries of the Eurozone to nearly 10%, making it harder for people to buy what they need, leaving people with little choice.
Protests sweeping China has reached the streets of Shanghai. In the country's largest city, demonstrators demanding an end to COVID lockdowns and daring to openly call for the resignation of Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Their defiance met with arrests, but it's unclear if police can stop what is now a national outcry. In Xinjiang, authorities in hazmat suits trying to hold their ground against crowds of demonstrators. The spark for the protest, a deadly apartment fire Friday night that killed 10 people, including 3 kids. Videos on social media appearing to show emergency crews slowed down by COVID measures around the high-rise. It took 3 hours to put out the flames. Residents, many of them locked down in Xinjiang for 3 months, were trapped. Xi Jinping has never faced public anger on this scale in his 10 years in power. China's government had tried tweaking zero COVID rules to help the economy, but with cases now at a record high, they're bearing down once again, crushing hopes of a gradual reopening. In Zhengzhou this week, there were clashes at the Foxconn factory making iPhones. Videos on social media showed crowds of police shoving workers angry about bonus pay and COVID rules at the plant. Foxconn apologized and gave payouts to workers wanting to leave, forcing Apple to warn that iPhone output will take a hit. The future of China's COVID policy now a test of will between the people and the government.
We are in a war. This is a war with Mother Nature.
Governor Kathy Hochul saying this weekend's snowstorm will go down in Buffalo's history as the most devastating storm and nothing short of a battle. So far, the 17 people who died range in ages from 26 to 93 years old. Emergency crews expect to continue to find more bodies of those who didn't survive.
There is substantial, significant, and devastating loss of life.
Even some of the snowplows were in need of a rescue, and about 30 miles away from Buffalo, about 200 people spent Christmas Eve stranded at a Denny's.
There were families sleeping on tables, sleeping on, 3 dining chairs, heads down on the table.
A major holiday headache for this Bronx woman who was confined to a family member's home, unable to get back to New York City.
We've been stuck in the house all these days.
What do you think this looks like? This is not Mars. It is the United States of America, a drought-hit United States of America. This is Lake Mead, America's largest reservoir. Its water levels have fallen to 28%. It is 175 feet lower than it used to be in the year 2000. What do you think is happening here? The US is battling extreme heat and low rainfall, and the result looks like this. Almost all of the American states are experiencing drought conditions. In some it's severe, in some exceptional, like in the case of Texas. Here farmers have had to sell their cows for slaughter well ahead of schedule. Why? Because they could not afford to keep the cattle. Water sources have dried up and there is no grass to feed the cows. Farmers in Lone Star have downed their herd size by 50%. 43% in Mexico, 41% in Oregon. 37% of American farmers have killed their existing crops. They're convinced that crops won't mature under such dry conditions. How dry are we talking about? The US experienced the third hottest July on record. In parts of Texas, the average temperature was around 38 degrees. For the US, this is beyond normal. As we speak, 60% of West, South, and Central Plains have been hit by severe or exceptional drought. In Arizona and Nevada, the water level in the Colorado River is nearing its lowest point ever. The river supplies water to some 40 million people, both in the US and in Mexico. It also supports agricultural production in the area, feeds Lake Mead and Lake Powell. But this river is in the throes of a drought. The shoreline is receding and skeletons are emerging. 5 sets of human skeletons have emerged from Lake Mead since the month of May. A World War II boat has also emerged. So have bathtub rings. Authorities say if water levels continue to fall, the Colorado will not be able to generate electricity. So Arizona and Nevada have been told to limit the amount of water they pump from the river. In California, residents have been asked to cut power use. Supplies too have reached to its breaking point. In Las Vegas and some other cities, authorities have banned lawns, meaning you cannot have grass patches in housing societies, commercial sites, or sidewalks. That's because the grass consumes too much water.
Mars.